What We Do in Life, Echoes in Eternity. Top opening scenes of all time. We got Mike's Story. We got Big Ray. We got the authority on movies for professional fanatics. How you doing? What say you guys?
What say you?
Excited. I went back. I watched these opening scenes. I pulled the clips on YouTube to get jacked up for this podcast. I'm ready to go.
I mean, this is definitely this is one of my favorite ideas that we've had for a podcast because it is so opinionated and in a great opinionated way that we can all have different ideas, but at the same time, honestly, we all want your guys' ideas. That out of our list that we have the best. Let's get going.
So question of the day, we're going to ask you these two things. Vote on our list who had the best one, and also screw you. Also, give us your number one. Give us your list, but most of your number one. What do we miss? Like, did we miss on something major?
Well,
almost certainly.
There's no way we're not going to miss.
There's a lot, especially we're talking about some deeper dive movies. I didn't go super, chalk. Hopefully you guys didn't either. So let's get into it. We all have our top fives. We're going to also do some honorable mentions. I want to everyone's number one honorable mention, and we'll get through the rest of our honorable mentions. Ray, what's your number one honorable mention?
Start with him real quick. Sorry.
It's Jurassic Park.
Ooh, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Shooter!
Shooter!
Shooter! Shooter!
I got that in my top.
Because the next 20 minutes after that is super chill.
That's
a preview.
Slow burn after that, but it introduces you to the island, and you're ready to go.
Ray, what's your honorable mention?
Honorable mention is I would have to say Django Unchained. Obviously, we did our podcast with how awesome that movie is. Obviously, I'm not talking about the initial just slow burn of them just showing the
credits.
Yes,
slaves,
right.
Yeah.
I'm talking when they start walking, and then you hear Doctor come in. Just that initial, when Doctor walks in, or not walks in, but rides in, and then the very end of when him and Django go off. Just the entirety of that, it just really, it goes from one of just you like, oh, okay, this is a slave movie, obviously, like you see these slaves walking through all these areas, and you get to this point of where it turns 180 in a matter of seconds.
Move it.
My good man, did you simply get carried away with your dramatic gesture, or are you pointing your weapon at me with lethal intention?
Last chance, fancy pants.
Oh, very well.
To really put off the tone of that movie.
My honorable mention, cliffhanger, Sylvester Stallone.
Ooh.
Not a great movie. Pretty cheesy, not one of my favorite Stallones, but the intro, the
intro.
first scene where they're hanging by the wire, he's going to save his
Super tense.
buddy and his girl. Spoiler, she ends up falling.
Oops.
It affects him. He's got PTSD, but like that whole scene is like 8 minutes long, super drawn out, super dramatic. Love that. I'm going to run through my other two honorable mentions without even talking about it too much. It's Transporter, one of the best chase scenes, getaway scenes ever. I love the Transporter movies.
One of Statham's best.
And then this one's a really deep, weird one is Flight. Because you got Denzel doing coke.
So do you consider that at what point do you consider the opening scene done? Because the movie, the crash, you think that's when it's
just the hotel room.
Okay.
The hotel room is why it's weird. Because
so you're not talking about the crash.
He does coke. He drinks the high life. He's got his call from his wife and the chick, the Gutierrez chick, or whatever. Holy hell! Thong, titties out. She's practically naked. It's just super crazy for that movie. You don't expect it. The line of coke he does is just so unexpected. It's nuts.
But Inception, I love the movie Inception, and I just love the fact that it's one of those movies where it opens up at the end.
Yeah.
Because, it comes full circle at the very end.
Story?
Yeah, Saving Private Ryan, for obvious reason.
Awesome.
8 minutes of authentic, real-world war, D-Day. Blade, I love the opening to Blade.
That is a great call, dude.
The
Oh my
rave
gosh.
scene and Blade going after all the vampires.
Exposition without
Dude,
talking, it just
story.
shows
Holy
everything.
moly, that is a great call.
I mean, the very
Thank
first opening scene with the chick and the dude in the car is a little wonky,
Yeah.
but the rave scene's
It's
awesome.
the best of show don't tell, right
Oh,
there.
Exactly,
No doubt.
yeah.
That's a great call.
Minority Report. I love the movie Minority Report, and Tom Cruise's character in that is excellent. And then Star Trek 2009 has one of the best openings, I
He's a
think.
Trekkie.
I am a
I've
Trekkie.
actually, you know what?
I am a
It's funny
Trekker.
you say that because when I was just doing some research on what other people thought, and there were many people that were saying that the Star Treks, like with J.J. Abrams, some of those were like, all right.
So he's going chalk and he sucks.
No.
No. All right,
got a huge
my
following
number
where
5.
he's with.
Okay.
My number 5. You ready for this? This is big. Scream.
Oh, that's great.
The best horror movie opening scene of all time.
Hello?
I'm sorry, I guess I dialed the wrong number.
I love the fact that the Scream movies are the only horror movies to acknowledge other horror movies existing.
Then answer the question. Same category.
Oh, please stop.
Name the killer in Friday the 13th.
Jason! Jason!
I'm sorry. That's the wrong answer.
Right? They're living in this universe where there's the trivia of, who's the first killer in Friday the 13th? And she says, Jason! No, actually, it was Jason's mom. And they acknowledge the existence, which is super smart. The quote of, why do you want to know my name? Because I want to know who I'm looking at.
Do you have a boyfriend?
No.
You never told me your name.
Why do you want to know my name?
I want to know who I'm looking at.
Super eerie. It's 8 minutes long. Drew Barrymore on the movie poster. This is 96, okay? Before, internet. This is pre-internet or, early internet. No spoilers. She's on the movie poster. She dies in the first scene. Granted, it's 10 minutes long.
Right.
Super, it's very confusing and
This
and
is
very
subverting
shocking.
expectations when subverting expectations wasn't used for schlock factor. This was used
Yeah.
as a story element.
And it brought back horror because after the late 80s, mid 80s almost, horror was dead. It was bad. There was horror movies. It was all sequels
Leprechaun
Sequels.
2,
Yes,
Leprechaun
yes.
in New York, whatever.
Friday the 13th
Leprechaun in the
episode
Hood?
5.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Halloween 5. All these bad movies.
Jason?
Jason Goes to Space.
X.
H2.
They were bad.
2.0?
This brought back
H2O.
horror in the biggest way, I think, beyond just the horror factor. This is one of the greatest opening scenes ever. It hits you every time. It's genius. You got the popcorn. That's kind of like building the suspense. As it gets bigger, the suspense gets bigger.
Listen, asshole!
No, you listen, you little bitch. You hang up on me again, I'll gut you like a fish, understand? Yeah.
It's kind of like a timeline. She dies in the end. Her parents are there. The phone call. Come on, man. Scream.
Quality.
What do you got?
Number 5 for me, it's the only drama on my list. Everything else is action. It's Goodfellas. Martin Scorsese.
Super short.
It's not a
Super
long
great.
one, but it sets
To
up
the
the
point,
movie
yeah.
perfectly. As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
What is that? No.
Still alive.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
And then you've got the scene with them driving silently. You don't know what's going on. All of a sudden, you start hearing thumping in the back of the car.
Could you get out the prop to sort of show what we're talking?
If you haven't seen this,
Ma, the whole film.
watch our Shawshank Redemption pod, and you'll know what's going on here.
Knife keeps on coming into play,
I'm
baby.
sorry, I just had to say because I know.
Let's go. Watch Shawshank.
You'll understand.
Definitely watch it.
And it's not
please.
just because it's Shawshank. I just
Yeah.
stabbed myself.
Be careful there.
Good.
I actually did stab myself in the leg.
Oh, jeez.
I'm okay. I have a Band-Aid. Yeah, good call. I mean, that was on my honorables. I didn't actually mention it, but everything about it when he stabs him and then he shoots him overkill style.
And it's cinematic, and then goes to freeze frame, and the music, and it kicks back to the 50s. It's awesome.
How tired they are when they're driving the car, too. They're on the show after they just kill the guy and
Yeah.
beat him to death. Ray, what do you got, number 5? Cicadas.
What we're dealing with here is currently cicadas. My point is that from there, it's just the clear opening of that you are in a completely like an exotic, unknown area. Because it's like, if you're just a normal person like us in the Midwest watching this, we're already in.
What is it? What movie?
Jurassic Park.
Oh,
sorry. My apologies. I'm sorry.
I'm drunk. It's my 15th beer, so
Costa Rica.
My apologies. It's just Jurassic Park. Just the opening of that. I just want to put that just with the like that is the immediate sound you hear when the movie opens. So I'm just saying it puts you into that scene right away, and then with the entire scene with shooter. I mean, it just shows the whole idea of you trying to control, nature. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, love it. My number 4, Gladiator, kind of teasing at the beginning. I always forget that this is the beginning scene of Gladiator because it's all the Roman Empire stuff, all the gladiator fights. But this battle and just how it starts off so peaceful, tranquil, where he's in the field and he's envisioning this stuff, and he sees the bird, and then he's got to get to his general self. And when I say general self, like he's a general, and he has all this respect, which ties back to the end of the movie, right, where these guys all have such respect for him, and you get the quote of "What we do in life echoes in eternity." God, that's amazing. It's the battle so brutal. You got the guy, the other guy, the setting.
The beginning of the bad guy rolling up with the guy's head and just rolling it, and you're just like you said, from there, general status. He's on. You
got the flaming arrows. Like, dude, it is amazing. It's Lord of the Rings-esque battle scene in a movie it kind of doesn't fit, if that makes sense. And you almost forget about it.
And filmed in 2000, I think?
Yeah, 2000.
So
CGI holds up, man. It is a 6-minute scene.
It was released in 2000.
Okay.
So it was 99.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I just...
Really
one of those where I did forget about it, and then, when you think about the movie, you don't think about that scene. But it is a start. The music, too, and there's a little bit of the exposition in the beginning talking about the Roman Empire, and you get this.
Well, dude, when the dog is running with him, I'm just saying, you said the music, he's just riding, and the music's overtaking the riding, but you still hear the riding, and the dog's running with him. You're just, like you said,
such a brutal battle.
You're so into that.
Story, what's your number 4?
It's Raiders of the Lost Ark. And I also love the opening to The Last Crusade, but that's our young Indiana Jones. Raiders of the Lost Ark is an awesome action movie opening. Introduces us to Indy. It's got Alfred Molina in it, if you forget. It's got the Jovitos, right? At the very end there of the opening scene. Indy loses, but he gets away. It's the tension of replacing the idol with the bag of sand, eyeballing it. Of course, the whip. Finding out from Merlita dead, the giant ball, all about it.
Please help
Great
me.
auction.
Is that the one with the little Asian kid?
No, that's Temple of Doom.
Is that the third one?
That's the second one.
That's the second one?
Yeah.
When he weighs out the thing and tries to balance
so he's
it,
looking at it. He's got to go by. So so Raiders of the Lost Ark for me.
Yes. That's a great one. Ray?
I would say for me, I would have Super Troopers for 4th. I know
that's a comedy.
That's a comedy, and that is a definite. That's going to be a controversial thing, but I'll tell you right now, if you both have seen it, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great movie.
Hey, Mike, while you're at it, those are shrooms, dude. Come on, man, just eat it. I'm already pulled over. I'm already pulled over. Pull over farther, man. I can't pull it. Sir, I'm already pulled over.
He's already pulled over. He can't pull over any farther.
Littering and littering and
littering and littering and littering and littering and.
These schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
I mean, come on. As a comedy, how has a comedy ever pulled you in so much? Even if you just, I'll be honest, because that was 2001. I was in 6th grade, or no, I was in 5th grade. I don't know. It just wasn't in my realm of seeing on TV, whatever. It just wasn't my thing. And seeing it after when it came out in video, and just it's now a cult classic for me. I've met the guys. I've actually drank beer with them.
There's a clip.
Yeah. There is a live clip of me that I drank beer with Farva and whatnot.
Cool.
But nonetheless, I don't know. It's just with the whole thing of them opening up. And these guys who are all on drugs, and they're getting what they thought is kidnapped by a crazy guy, and it's just him, one of the Super Troopers, just playing a joke on the rest of them to make sure they're on their game, and they're not. And it's just an epic opening that for me, from the day I've seen it to now, I just still see it, and it just still, no matter what, it's amazing. No, to be honest,
don't spit in the cop's burger.
no. He says, "What are you gonna do? Spin my burger?" No. hold the spit. It's a burger for a cop.
Just say that.
All right, my number 3. We were just talking about it outside. You guys are both big Lord of the Rings fans.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed.
But neither of you have Lord of the Rings on your list?
I just think the kind
Not
of
for opening
I don't.
scene, no.
Yeah, narration.
Fellowship, the opening scene. No?
It's okay.
It's
good.
good.
It's a great
Top
movie.
5?
Top
No.
5 though. Yeah.
Yes.
Tell us why. Tell us why.
It
Yeah.
is
Please,
the
please, the
perfect
argument.
blend of showing and telling.
Okay.
You got the exposition of
Right.
giving you all the backstory.
Mm-hmm.
They go through, if you go from the books, they go through almost 3,000 years
Yeah, right. 100%.
of story in
Yes.
a 5-minute intro.
And if anything, I will give you, Rob, I have seen that movie literally probably 20 to 30 times, and I will give you that opening over voice monologue, to your point, in that little amount of time, giving that amount of information.
Yes.
It is well written and definitely well done.
Exposition amazing, battle scenes amazing, sets the tone, and it's one of those where it's like, if you're not a Lord of the Rings fan, you have to watch the 3.
Yes.
Just from that 5 minutes, you're like, okay, now what's coming next? And what makes it the best is, I like Lord of the Rings. I know you love it, right?
I do love it.
The movies are
Love it
very
as well.
slow, and the Hobbit even slower. But this is the opposite. This is fast. This is everything you need to know. It's the opposite of what the movies does, which makes the slowness of the movies, you know exactly what's coming, you know what's at stake. That's why this is top 3 for me.
Yeah.
Love it.
I don't. It's narration.
In your face.
There's a
story,
difference between exposition and narration, and that's narration, and that's telling us.
but it's
the
also
story.
showing.
No, I'm
Yeah.
with
The
I'm
battles, bro.
For
I
me,
don't-
narration knocks it down a key.
I'm
So
with-
I've got one on my list that
I'm
does
with
have
Story on that.
great exposition. And,
Okay,
and
so you're
brings
not a
you
Lord
in.
of the Rings fan.
I'm a
so
huge-
no, you're
Yes,
not.
we
No,
are
you're not.
huge Lord of the Rings
No, you're
fans. I'm
not.
just telling
Neither
you
are you.
that it's.
Okay.
Suck a D. What do you got?
Number 3 for me is The Matrix, and you might be surprised to hear that's
Not
only
surprised
number
at all.
3 because,
It's a phenomenal
well,
movie.
only
Watch
number
The
3
Matrix,
because
by the way. Watch
yeah.
Me in Stories, Matrix Breakdown, movie deep
Breakdown.
dive.
Yeah, I won't go into
Please
too much
watch.
on it because we talk about the opening scene in the
incredible.
Matrix pod, but yeah, number 3 for me is The Matrix.
It's incredible. I mean, why?
Wait, what is the
when you
main?
first
What is
saw
the
it,
what's the
why?
main drag for you to get into that?
It draws you in without giving you revealing the secret right off the bat. Great action, and then you're a little unsure of what's going on. It seems like it's set in the real world, then all of a sudden something supernatural happens.
Right.
But it's not supernatural, it's technology.
So essentially, it's the exact opposite of what I'm talking about Lord of the Rings. It gives you all this expedition, all this reasoning.
There's no exposition.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just Trinity sitting there, crane kick, and then the phone, and then just everything else. It's unreal.
But
Exactly.
here's the main difference: is that we're living in the Matrix, and Lord of the Rings is fairy tale.
And that's fine. I want to live in a fairy tale.
Maybe the fairy tale world is real, and we're the stories that they tell.
And that's
I
also
love The
very-
Matrix, and this
I'm very
scene-
huge. Also,
This scene, I just
observation.
watched it with my dad. He never watched it, and this scene, he was just like, wow.
Yeah.
No,
Because
it's
it is wow.
Oh, no,
And
it's
it draws out.
phenomenal storytelling.
And there's the jump over the building. There's some of this like extra crazy stuff where you don't expect. But there's also some real life stuff, and just the quote of no, Lieutenant, your men are already dead.
Yeah.
And
You're
then
like,
what do you know?
why?
Like, one
Why?
little girl, like no, they're dead. Ray, number 3.
I have Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
That is easily a Mount Rushmore movie for me. There are just so many things about that movie that I know we're not talking about the movie itself. But I'm saying there are many reasons for that movie that I love it. That opening scene, it's so funny because it's a funny drama, and it just opens up very slow, and you're just like, okay, where the hell is this going? And then just boom, right in your face, him throwing the midget. It's like, yeah, that's me.
25 grand to the first cocksucker to nail a bullseye! My name is Jordan Belfort.
I'm throwing him, like, you know what I mean? Like, it just opens. Martin Scorsese does so well in that to just be like, yep, here we go. Like, this movie is an adrenaline rush, 1,000,000% about 90% of it.
Go,
Here we
go, 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 go.
Right,
It
I'm
is,
saying
yeah.
here we go. This is the intro.
Frenetic opening that keeps you going for the entire.
I mean, I say they're obviously they're like I said 90%, so maybe 10% of it is low, but I mean, for me at least, there was a good 90-80% of that movie that just went in that intro, just put it off.
It hits. All right, my number 2. You had an honorable mention, Saving Private Ryan. Only reason I don't have it as my number 1 is because I feel like it's cheating because technically the opening scene is that stupid old man
Oh, yeah.
cemetery
It's true.
crap. It's technically 3 minutes into the movie.
I guess you're right. Okay.
But, dude, has there ever been a more powerful, a more perfect, a more realistic opening scene in movie history?
That's an opening where you don't even realize you're not breathing, that you're holding your breath.
You are.
Yeah.
World War II veterans have literally, it's a unanimous decision by them that, not saying every single one of them, but we'll say, whatever, 70-80% of them say, if one movie portrays the most realistic action we dealt with, World War
They had to
II.
leave the theater.
Yes.
I mean, and you start off with on the boat.
Clear the ramp! 30 seconds!
They're puking. Usually, it builds it up, right?
Could
They're
you
all
imagine- I'm
scared.
just
They know they're
imagining us.
going in. They're going
Just
into
imagine
a
us right
bloodbath.
now, us three just in.
We're gonna die. Yeah. The only way we can imagine is a video game. Because we
100%.
would never do that.
100%.
These are 18, 19, 20-year-old dudes who now in our generation don't even leave home.
So
Greatest
visceral,
generation
so
ever.
gory. But real, right?
gory.
I mean, that's
Guy
what
with his intestines hanging out.
that's what they're known as. The
It
greatest
is the
generation
best
ever.
and most realistic and most brutalized war scene ever. There's never been anything like it since. This is 98, right? We're talking almost 20 years. Nothing like it.
We're on 30.
Almost 30 years. Pardon
Yeah.
me. Pardon me. Thank you. My math's not
Unfortunately.
good. Man, the cinematography, how it's jumpy. It's really like you're there. It's perfectly filmed in terms of like it's raw, and also the part where Tom Hanks when he has his little panic attack, where the sound goes out. The guy's arm falls off, and like he's freaking out. And the guy's
So
yelling at him,
visual.
and it's
So
dude,
visual.
The audio of it, like everything about this scene. It's also super long. Even after the whole beach scene, then they're trying to storm that bunker. It's like 18 minutes long, dude. And in the next like 20 minutes of the movie, it's almost like you need to catch your breath. That's when they have the whole part where they're trying to find the statement. The three brothers are dead, but
Right.
they have to do something boring because like you need to catch your goddamn breath. Because this just hits you in the freaking face.
The whole movie does. We, as an audience, need to take a breath, and we're feeling them so
and
well.
the word is feeling.
We're
You
with them.
feel it.
Yes.
And the only reason I don't have it at number one is just because the cemetery scene. And like if it wasn't for that, it would be my number one. But like it's kind of cheating because it technically isn't the opening scene. But we all know, all
fair.
forget that stupid Matt Damon aging crap.
It's his beginning and the end.
Yeah,
Don't
I know,
forget.
I hate
Yeah,
both
yeah,
of them.
yeah.
Get rid of both those, and like
You got a perfect movie.
tell
right?
me I lived a good life. Come on, man, that's cheesy as hell. Like.
But here's the thing, dude, is like I'm telling you that I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, maybe for us, we could give a hell about that. Like, they could delete that whole part.
It humanizes
But
it. I get it.
I get it. Yes, exactly. Because I'm telling you, guys from World War II that were still around, all the way up into through Gulf War at that point, Desert
Right.
Storm, like those guys would still have some sort of.
They want to live a good life. Story number two. Number two.
And any given day, this could be number one. So for me, it goes back and forth. They're very, very close, but I put it at number two because I think the top one is just a little bit better. But for me, number two is X2, X-Men United. The opening scene with Nightcrawler. If you have not seen this movie, go and watch the opening scene. It's only 3.5 minutes or so. Even if you're not a comic book movie fan, you will be floored. The action, the direction, the special effects. You don't know what's going on. You've never seen his character before, but yet you're in the White House. All of a sudden, the president is being swarmed by his Secret Service and protection, and it just builds and builds and builds. And then at the end, and I won't spoil it for you because it's fantastic, but go and watch it. It is an excellent opening scene.
I will.
You get the purple smoke. Like, it's just all that awesome stuff.
I'll add
man.
real quick with you. The sound effects that they had for him in
Yeah.
and out, like him.
The sound is out.
I mean,
Yeah,
that
'cause-
was. I'm gonna say just a little added effect that just really.
If you've seen
made-
this movie and you've seen the scene, you know exactly what we're talking about. If you haven't, I don't want to spoil it and go watch it.
Yeah.
Please.
Would you agree X-Men 1's a better film and this is a better scene? But
I like X2 better than
I
X1.
think,
yeah.
I think it was X2, X-Men, and then
Dark Phoenix, then
yes.
forget about it.
Well, no,
or
there's
X3.
four. Last Stand, and then Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, no, I think X2 is a better movie. I do.
I do as well.
Yeah.
Ray, number 2?
So number 2, I have Dark Knight. I mean, there are just so many things about this opening.
Real quick, that's my number 1.
My number 1 as well.
Okay.
All right,
we're
hold on,
talking about this.
you guys go into your number 1. Let me.
No,
please
we're
just-
all taking this. You're number 2.
Yeah.
It's our your 2. Obviously, we have it all
Round
really high.
robin it, yeah.
We have it all really high for a reason. And my biggest reason, not to step on your toes,
Oh, it's fine, tell me.
2008, right? This is right before. I mean, there's still a lot of CGI in this, right?
Yeah.
But the way it's filmed, this is right. It's so realistic. It's so beautifully done. Beyond all the other stuff we're going to talk about, if this was done in 2019, it would have been terrible. This
CGI
is
so
so
hardcore.
when they go on the rope from one building to the other.
Oh, it's real.
Everything
All
about
real.
it is real.
Yep.
It's the camera angles. There's no quick cuts. You're there. You're there. What do you got, Ray?
To be honest, it was just. I mean, you literally just. I'm not gonna say everything you said was verbatim, but that's the realness. Like you said, like it just opens up, and it's one of those things you just know something bad is happening right away. Like and then
The tones of the music,
yeah, the tone,
dude.
and that's Christopher Nolan. I mean, Christopher Nolan is easily for me a top 3 director for me. I just love the majority of the things he puts out, and this Batman for me. I love the trilogy. And there are many different reasons for people to like everything else. This is obviously the peak because between everything with the story, with the acting, and obviously we're talking about the opening of the scene, it just really proves the point. Like, okay, Joker's the bad guy. Yeah. Like, oh, who's this mystical guy? Mystical guy, blah, 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 comes at the very end, and and the big reveal, and I love William Fichtner. Like, I love him as an actor, and he's in such a small,
He's in Prison Break.
super small part. But I love him. Like, I mean, everything he's ever in, I love the guy, and he's great in this. And it immediately for me, it just pushes you right into the epicness of this whole entire movie.
And the Joker story.
So this is what I was mentioning earlier, where this is not narration, but this is exposition done really well, where it sets up. You don't know exactly what's going on, but you kind of know it's the Joker, and you get the sense of just how bananas, how maniacal he is as a character, and where this ride is going to take us.
doubt.
It also reminds us that this is Gotham, right? And this is a gangster's bank, right? This is a criminal underlord.
Yeah, he says it. This is a
Falcone's bank.
That's a
Yeah.
William Fichtner just
That's William
kills it on that
Fichtner's.
part.
Yeah,
He just kills
and
it on
so
he calls it a mob bank.
it's a mob bank. You've got the robbery going on. You see William Fichtner. You think he's panicking, but he's ready to take action. So, bam! All of a sudden, now you're sucked in with what is going on with the bank manager. There's a ton to love about this. You could also put in The Dark Knight Returns, has a great opening with Bane.
really does.
But for me,
That is really good too.
yeah.
It's
So
too over the top though. That's the difference.
It
This
is
not as
more over the top, yeah.
But-
this is realistic, Point Break style, right?
But I will agree.
perfectly executed, and the way that everybody's got a job to do, and then once that job is done, the person above them is supposed to whack them down.
But I'm with you, like how Rises is the same way. Like I'm saying, I agree with the epicness of the opening. It's because exactly it's the same thing. Everybody has their little role, and once the roll's over, you're done. And I mean, Bane takes it to the next level, but it doesn't matter because it's the same level with Joker because he kills everyone.
Right.
But
And what takes the next level for me is, I've been a Batman fan forever, right? And I do like the '89 Batman with Keaton and all that. And Nicholson,
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Nicholson
it was
played
great,
great.
great.
But Nicholson was so jokey as a Joker,
Yep.
and they didn't really preface his character as such. You had the scene in the the nuclear plant or whatever where he becomes Joker. He's already Joker.
Yep.
He already does about anything, right? It's literally.
We don't need his backstory.
Yeah, it's I want to watch the world burn. He says it a bunch of times, and this shows he doesn't care. He doesn't want the money for himself. He wants to prove a point. Rip off and then own the mob, and then make Gotham his. And not even make it his, ruin Gotham, if that makes sense. And he shows it throughout the movie. It's so... Dude, it's unreal. I mean, it's unreal.
And it leads into what I think is the best Batman movie of all time.
Oh yeah, no,
I mean, there's no. It's one of the best movies of all time.
Yeah,
because
I would agree.
again, right before CGI ruined everything, you have Christian Bale who kills it. Heath Ledger, the most iconic, not just like the most iconic Joker. This is one of the most iconic roles in the history of
Villains
movies.
roles
Killed the man, and he couldn't handle it, but he dove into it, and it shows the level he did to this movie. You see it in Brokeback. You see it in all these movies he's done.
Mm-hmm.
He takes it to the next level, and whether that makes it what it was, we don't know. But it's that good. Where like I'm gonna probably say, give him the benefit of the doubt, as Rip Heath Ledger, love you, love Heath Ledger. Also on my Hawkeye list, love Heath Ledger. But man, the guy's unreal. Ray, you still have your number one.
Well, I was just gonna piggyback real quick with that. Is that just the epicness of the Joker in that movie? I mean, honestly, just between Michael Caine. Okay, Michael Caine was at this point. This came out in 08.
Want to wash away a burn.
I mean, dude, the dude was what 70 years old at least. He was afraid of him. Him being Heath Ledger because he was so just deep in that character when they did the shrimp scene. You know, like why with the scene with the knife to the old man's face, like that. Michael Caine apparently. Did you ever hear about that?
And it goes again.
Another knife. Yeah, there you go. Why so serious?
Want to know how I got these scars?
Well,
Tape that knife up there.
yeah, seriously, dude.
Erica's gonna be like, "Where's our?"
If anyone watches Shawshank, though, like this is the most long-going knife joke
It
that's
really
ever
is.
happened in pod history.
You have to watch
With
Shawshank
friends. Yeah, you
first
have
to
to.
understand this.
You know what I love too is in the first scene, right? The first shot, right, is him getting ready to get picked up. He doesn't have his mask on,
Dude.
and they say he wears
Talk
makeup.
about an epic
but
freaking
dude,
shot.
somehow they don't see it, and he has the makeup on. Clearly, it's smudged.
Oh yeah, they don't
But
know.
he
it.
doesn't have the mask on. He kind of gave him something he doesn't care.
Oh no, because they're all dead.
What do you got for your number one, Ray? I'm excited to hear this. I think I know what it is.
So for me, number one, it's not even. And I'm not gonna lie to you, both of you guys. And to be honest, it's not even close for me. Inglourious Basterds opening. The opening is by far for me the best acting I have ever seen in my entire life. Like just from a short scene, Christoph Waltz. That's the best acting I've ever seen. Yeah. I'm sorry, like you guys can, the audience, anybody can come up with a scene, and I can very well may have a nice argument with you. But I'm telling you, like the guy that he does, it just opens up with this nice little just folk, like old music, and all of a sudden, these Polish farmers see, the Nazis coming, and just sort of preparing them, and I mean, I don't know, just from going from, just being like cordial, like, hey there, like blah 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 blah,
and
like,
the German to English,
yes,
like
right.
know that, like, and the reason I didn't have it on my list is I would have been honorable in general, probably on my list. But I knew you'd have it, and we were going to talk about it because it's long. It's long. It's drawn out.
super
It
long.
is 15 minutes probably.
But again, that is
Tarantino.
one where you don't, because you don't know if he knows, but you kind of know that he does know, and so he's drawing you in, and you don't realize, again, your heart rate has increased, you're breathing shallower because you don't want them to get caught.
You know what I'm saying?
And you realize all of a sudden that everything that Klaus is doing is designed specifically to test her, right? And the acting in there, like you said, Ray, is phenomenal, where Christoph Waltz has this perfect sadistic streak dialed in, and again, everything he does, nothing is accident. Everything.
Dude, I love that number one.
Sorry,
I love our list.
I apologize. Sorry.
Yeah. Put on your list. This was awesome. Let us know who won. I think I won. He thinks he wins. We all win. You know who wins?
The knife.
The knife.
The knife.
Like 5 or 6 different times I busted this knife on story.
Yep.
And I'm going to have this here all the time now for every pod.
We're going to be talking about...
If I ever disagree in fantasy football,
Yeah, we're going to talk
get the knife.
The knife.
All right, boys.
Yep.
And it's been a complete joy.
Je prends congé de vous. Je vous dis adieu.